So I started a business selling the burlap sacks that coffee beans are shipped in. Basically, I found coffee roasters that would sell me their used burlap sacks. Then I built a Shopify store, created ad campaigns, and customers would buy the sacks. Customers used the sacks for all kinds of things. A backdrop for a coffee bar, a container to grow potatoes in, and even a prop for a puppy photo shoot. But this is not a success story, and to understand why, we need to go back to the beginning. This all started when Sarah and I were watching a celebrity home tour.
Welcome. And these are recycled coffee bags. Obviously they're all different and unique, and it's like a huge part of this front entrance, and I love it so much.
That got me thinking, would other people want to hang burlap sacks in their house? And if so, could I start an online store for that? We could call it the Happy Burlap. So I did some research, and it turns out hundreds of people are Googling buy burlap sacks or where to buy burlap sacks every month. So I felt pretty good about the idea. I just needed to find some coffee sacks. Fortunately, a Reddit thread said that most coffee roasters just gave them away. I didn't want them to give me sacks for free though, that didn't feel right. So I called several coffee roasters to see if I could just buy some. And there was lots of interest. I quickly struck a deal with one roaster where I would pay $1 per sack, which was seriously overpaying, but you gotta start somewhere. And plus, they said I could pick up the sacks that night. They had left the sacks in an alleyway and said I could take what I wanted. So I grabbed a bunch. The next day, I organized the sacks in my garage. Now I wanted to take some product photos, but the sacks were pretty wrinkled, so I tried to steam them in the shower, and honestly, kind of worked, but it also kind of didn't do that much. Whatever. Next, I hung the sacks by a clamp and took product photos. Using these product photos, I quickly built an online store. I built it with Squarespace. But as soon as I finished the online store, I realized I wasn't happy with it. First, the photos sucked. You shouldn't see the clamps and bar. Second, Squarespace only had automatic shipping calculations for FedEx and UPS, not Canada Post, which was my shipping provider. So I started again with another photo shoot. This time I did a flat lay on the ground, and I was happier with these. Then I had to rebuild the website. This time using Shopify, which has an integration with Canada Post. With the website built, it was time to start marketing. So I decided to just start running ads everywhere. Etsy, Google, Facebook, Instagram, Reddit, and I tried Pinterest, but they didn't approve me for some reason. I even opened an Amazon store, though I couldn't figure out how to get fulfillment by Amazon to work, which I think is pretty critical. And then I waited and wondered, was anyone actually going to buy these burlap sacks? Well, they did. At 4:27 p.m. on August 21, I got the first order for a 10-pack of burlap sacks. And then the orders kept coming. In the first week, I had 6 orders. I had been saving boxes throughout the pandemic, so I just used those for shipping. And since Shopify was integrated with Canada Post, I could just print shipping labels and send them off. By the end of the first month, revenue was over $500 and profit was $260. Now, when you took into account how many hours I was working, really wasn't making a great wage, but it's a new business. I was setting things up. I had also sold through my inventory. Fortunately, another coffee roaster sent me a photo of a bunch of bags they wanted to sell to me for 25 cents each. So I went to pick them up. Got a whole bunch of bags here. I couldn't keep all of these bags in my garage. It was too much. So I rented a storage unit. In September, I had a $60 profit, but then things took a turn. In October, I lost $400. Not good. I had to figure this out. I started by cutting advertising that wasn't working, which actually was everything except for Google Ads. The fact that Facebook and Instagram weren't working was probably a red flag. I mean, they're the best ad platform for e-commerce, like typically. though in fairness, you probably need better creative than this. I also decided to start a blog for SEO. I've had success with SEO in my other businesses, but in my experience, SEO takes time, sometimes years. But when it works, it can be super effective. Plus, with Google Ads, I was beginning to understand which keywords led to sales, so I could target those keywords with blog content. Lastly, I also started testing price points. Of the 3 price points, I found $7 actually got the best return on ad spend, but there was a problem. You need a return on ad spend of at least 100% just to break even, so something still wasn't working. Then in November and December, the Happy Burlap wasn't profitable again. At this point, I started to lose interest. I would fulfill customer orders, but I wasn't experimenting or trying new marketing tactics. The business just started to drift on autopilot. Worse still, my spreadsheet wasn't even really capturing all my expenses. I wasn't even tracking the cost of the inventory or the storage unit. Or what about the gas I was using? Or how about the tape that I used for packaging? 2 more unprofitable months drifted by, and in the middle of a cold Canadian February, I decided to do something radical. I quit. Basically, one day I was stressed out and I talked to Sarah about it. As we talked, I realized I had too much on my plate. I was working on a startup and I also had other businesses too. Plus, we had a 1-year-old daughter. Did I really want to spend more time on the Happy Burlap? So I shut down the store by setting all inventory to out of stock. And then I just let the website coast. So, would the Happy Burlap have been successful if I had kept going? I don't know, probably not. I do think there were some opportunities left unexplored though. I think SEO was promising because with Google Ads, I discovered certain keywords definitely could result in sales. I mean, it's not rocket science when someone is literally searching where to buy burlap sacks. Plus, organic traffic has continued to grow even after I shut the store down. Maybe I could have become profitable if I wasn't spending on advertising. I also started getting messages from people who wanted to buy burlap by the ton in order to ship it back overseas. Their offers were low, like to give a sense, one guy offered me 13 cents per bag. But maybe there's a business in someone collecting all these bags from coffee roasters and shipping them back overseas. Who knows? Definitely not me. I don't know anything about running a logistics business like that. I also learned that burlap sacks are manufactured in Bangladesh. So I got in touch with a few manufacturers who could design custom bags. And so maybe there's an opportunity in creating new, unique designs to sell. I mean, customers are using these for furniture or artwork, so they might be interested in cool, unique designs. But I'm not pursuing these ideas. This is the end of the Happy Burlap. I'm done with it. But this YouTube channel is just starting. I have more videos in the works, including silly ones like how I started a business posting personalized happy birthday songs on Spotify, or more serious videos like how my co-founder and I grew our startup from $0 to $300,000. So you can subscribe if that sounds interesting. In any case, thanks for watching.